Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox Chair, on the panel this evening is Bridgeman in London. Evening, boys and girls.
Evening, Oxchair. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, everyone. Hope you're all well.
Can I just say a huge good evening to you guys? Massive good evening to you guys in the lobby, and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Another box tick, another clean sheet, another 3 points. Magic.
You want to put the announcement out there, Bridge, or do you want me to do it?
You do it, pal.
All right. Just to let everybody know, Bridge is leaving us. He's got the job at Hamilton as a co-commentator.
I love it. Brilliant. That was superb. Well said. Can I just say to the people that are listening in, that is totally untrue. But I take my hat off. to the guy for coming out and saying that, because he gets sacked, and that's made me very happy. I love it.
Oh dear, that was the biggest story in Scottish football today. Unbelievable.
It was as well.
Oh, poor guy.
How you doing, Linda?
I'm doing very well, thanks. Like Bridgeman, a very happy Berette today. Another victory, marching on.
Can I just say, anybody who's following the spotlight thread out there, just keep your eye on it. There's a review coming, and there's more information to come. Just be patient. It's hopefully we can get justice for the victims. Just follow it and keep up with what's happening in Spotlight. Right, Bridge, I think before we get here for Gary Mack, you've done the press conference. I think it's coming out right, Linda. We hear a view from the bridge. What do you think?
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this.
So have I.
Listen to that. Oh, good evening, and this is the Bridgeman here, and welcome to A View from the Bridge. Okay, we'll get on to a description here. We're talking about, it was a tremendous 1-0 result for the famous last night against St Johnstone and Ibrox. A deserved victory by a long way. Brilliant performance from all the Rangers players tonight. Are very pleased. This was the 100th win for our manager, Stephen Gerrard, MBE, from 152 games in charge. Right, onto the game. In 1 minute, a foul by Tarv gives away a free kick to St Johnstone just inside the Rangers half on their left, with a high ball into our box, which was well defended and the ball cleared. In 10 minutes, Kent on the left puts in a great ball to Aribo, who then finds Davis on the edge of the box, who sidesteps the defender and gets in a great shot, which was blocked by another defender. On 12 minutes, Golson plays a high ball into the box to Aribo, who heads the ball back to Kent, who sidesteps the defender and gets a great shot in, which just goes wide of the post, the right-hand post. Nice play, but unlucky there. On 13 minutes, after some really good interplay by Rangers, the ball goes to Hadji, who gets in a brilliant cross between the spot and the keeper, which just misses Tav, who came really rushing in. Hard lines for the Rangers. On 21 minutes, Roof is shown the yellow card for a foul on Davidson. Looks like Roof didn't control the ball, or didn't control the through ball, which got away from him a little, and he was stretching rather than after that. Maybe even lunging, and caught Davidson. Poor attempt by Roof, definite yellow card.
You okay there, mate?
Sorry, Clark, sorry.
No,
my eye went away there. My eye went away. So, right, we're okay.
I thought you might have been away for the toilet.
No, we're not Hamilton. I don't come from Hamilton, so we're all right. On 23 minutes, Rangers are camped in their half. When they break, Rangers are able to clear it up. St Johnstone are defending doggedly. They appear to be defending deeper in their own half. Very difficult to break through their 10-man defence. 30 minutes, St Johnstone are still defending well for them, but this 5-5-0 style is just killing football. We have been told that St Johnstone are a really good side. I don't see it. On 31 minutes, a throw in down our left, in line with the spot, finds Aribo, who gathers the ball in and heads for the box, with half the defence trying to rob him. By fair or foul means, but he gets a cross into Roof, who gets a shot in, but just past the near post. Hard lines Roof. In 33 minutes, Joe Aribo is having a great game. Very clever, quick feet, causing havoc with the defenders. In 34 minutes, Aribo is taken out of the game by McCart, St Johnstone defender, and a tackle which looked like an assault. And then the defender steps over the prostrate Aribo, and it looks like he had a flick at him. As Aribo stepped over him and had a flick at him, and as Aribo was upset, Aribo responded and pushed McCart just then, and Hadji pushed him away to get him out of further trouble. The assault itself would have been at least a free kick and a yellow, if not red. Disrespectful of any player, very ignorant of McCart. Incredibly, no card was shown. Unbelievable. Consistency, referee, please. Consistency. In 35 minutes, the resultant free kick was taken by Borna, whose shot went straight into the wall and the danger was cleared. In 37.5 minutes, a lovely through ball to Hadji, who is felled and taken out of the game by Gordon, who pleads his innocence. That was a yellow card every day of the week. Earlier, Roof was yellow carded for a similar type of offence. What is the difference? Consistency, ref, please. In 38 minutes, the resultant free kick was taken by Tav, a brilliant free kick towards the near post, and finds Goldson with the goal at his mercy, and he somehow manages to put the ball past the post. Unbelievable stuff. In essence, a sitter. Great free kick, but hard lines Goldson. In 43 minutes, a brilliant cross by Borna, his best of the night so far, finds Roof close to the spot where he gets in a header that went just wide of the left-hand post. Brilliant cross, hard lines Roof. On 43.5 minutes, the referee's decision makes Roof look like he's the dirtiest player ever in football, in my opinion. 45 minutes, it took me that time to think that. Half-time, St Johnstone are playing to their plan, and Rangers are falling into failing to penetrate their defence. On 48 minutes, after some sort of interplay, some great interplay by Rangers, the ball gets through to Davis inside the box. He flicked a pass to Hadji, who swerves and tries to get a left foot shot and just doesn't connect well enough. The keeper saves the attempt. Brilliant play by Rangers and cross. Hard lines to Hadji. On 49 minutes, more great play by Rangers, and the ball gets through to Tab on the right. He plays one of his special crosses towards the near post, where the ball gets through to the near post and up to the keeper, who beat the ball away and just managed to slap the ball away from the goal. Brilliant cross by Tab. Good instinctive save by the keeper. Hard lines Rangers. 50 minutes, it's all Rangers, except for the long clearances from St Johnstone getting through to our keeper. On 52 minutes, after some great play by Rangers, the ball gets through to Hadji on the right wing. He runs across the 18-yard line and fires in a glorious shot from the D, which beats the keeper at the near post. Brilliant play, Rangers. Well done, Hadji. 1-0 to the famous. On 67.5 minutes, a foul given against St Johnstone player Christopher Kane after a barge on Goldson. By the way, this player, Christopher Kane, is, in my opinion, one of the dirtiest players in our league. On 70 minutes, a rare foray upfield by St Johnstone puts pressure on our defence, and the ball breaks to Bryson, who gets a good shot in, which McGregor manages to turn away, and then the ball's cleared by Borna. Well played, St Johnstone. Hard lines Bryson. On 71 minutes, another foray upfield by St Johnstone keeps the pressure on our defence, and the ball breaks to Bryson again, who goes forward, beating two of our players and into the box and gets another good shot, which McGregor manages to save and gather well. Well played by St Johnstone again, and hard lines rising. And 75 minutes, Rangers are playing well and the opposition have most of the time. And 85 minutes, Christopher Kane, St Johnstone, is shown the yellow card for another foul, this time on Davis. Full time 1-0 to the famous. This result now sets us up. We've got 75 points from 27 games. We have 11 league games left to play. We are 23 points clear at the top of the league with a goal difference of 60, with 20 clean sheets. Pat on the back to all the players after this result, player by player. McGregor 8, Tavernier 7, Goldson 8, Helander at 7, Barisic 7, Jack 8, Davis 8, Aribo 9, Hadji 9, Roof 6, Kent 8. Man of the match, Aribo, closely followed by Hadji. Now that could easily have been Hadji, closely followed by Aribo. So I just thought Aribo was excellent tonight. Brilliant dribbling, great stuff. Possession, the match stats. Possession 67% St Johnstone, 33%. 67% Rangers and 33% St Johnstone. Apologies. Shots 9 for Rangers, 5 for St Johnstone. Shots on target 2 for Rangers, 3 for St Johnstone. Corners 2 for Rangers and 2 for St Johnstone. Fouls 13 for Rangers and 12 for St Johnstone. And that is the end of A View from a Bridge.
There you go. Under that report, I'll stop having you're having a suspicious mind.
Does that mean it? My favourite song.
I agree with you. I thought Aribo was my best player last night. Yeah, I did. Actually, I thought he was worth the admission money. Linda, when I reflected on the game, stuffy was a word used last night, and then I thought about it in the first half. If I'm being honest, Ridge summed it up quite nicely there. Kent should have scored. Tav could have scored. Golson should have scored. Maybe Roof could have done better. We could have been sitting 4 up at half time in reality.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Ox. Stuffy's probably, a reasonably good word to use. It's a hard-fought victory. But yeah, when I was watching the game, obviously this low block, they've got all the players behind the ball. I was thinking, are we going to get a lot of chances? But yeah, you're absolutely spot on. You think about that, there are 4 really, really good chances. And I think if Kent scores with the first one of those chances, I think it's probably a different game and we would have gone on and scored probably, 3 or 4 goals. But as Brad said, it was all about getting the win. And then obviously into the second half, we started quite well, and when we got the goal, I thought we'll go on and get maybe a second and third, but we kind of just sort of sat back a wee bit, and then obviously Alan's had the couple of fantastic saves, but overall just a great result really, isn't it?
Here, and the interesting start for me, Bridge, sent from Stato, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Is, if we won on Sunday, yeah, we draw the rest of our games, yeah, we still win the league.
Yeah, truth be told, we're putting ourselves into marvellous position now, absolutely tremendous position. And obviously we've got another couple of games to go that we should win. We'll get one at Hamilton and then it's at Kelly at Ibrox. So hopefully, and I don't like to look too far forward because I only want to win the next game, but hopefully if we win these 2 games, that should put us in a position where all the rest of the teams will just start completely disappearing out of sight. Disappearing out of sight.
Well, Livingston can still catch us, but there would need to be a 55-goal swing, Bridge.
Well said, pal. Well said, indeed.
Anyway, so, Bridgeman, if people want to join us, give their thoughts before we hear from Gary Mack. What's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or joins the Skype at RangersRadio.online. We brought in the call with Fox or Old School Blue. If you phone in, hang up, we will phone you back, and then we will bring you right into the conversation. And Linda, what can they talk about?
They can talk about anything as long as it's about Rangers.
Here. I'm sure Bridge will, any DIY problems anybody's got during this lockdown, just give Bridge a call tonight. He's your man.
Brilliant.
Well, and always, as always, anybody with any relationships cases, Fox is in the background and we can put you right through to Fox. He's your man.
Fox in the box. Brilliant.
In this difficult time for couples, Fox will guide you through stormy waters. He's always there for people, Linda.
Oh, that's nice of Fox, isn't it?
Oh,
Really nice of him.
He's a really lovely guy.
It's really, really generous.
By the way, he's getting a good reputation. These Saturday escapades that Fox Service telling us about. So that's quite
There's
good.
not many people put themselves over that bridge, but that's for Saturday, you know. There's not many people who visit the wives of people who are working on a Saturday night. You know what I mean? Only guys like Fox. Anyway.
Just brilliant. That's excellent stuff. Excellent. I just want to say that I think St Johnstone are murder police. This double block game and style that they've got, all these coaches are doing the same thing. They're just, all it is just packing the defences and nothing else. It's a double parking and God, you call it what you like. And it's absolutely terrible to see. I thought Rangers were brilliant last night against them. Seriously.
I thought the conditions, the parts not the best. We need a bit of dry weather. I don't think we'll get that to about April, but there you go. But I don't know why. Maybe it's just the way the sun shines into Ibrox, but parts not the best, and the conditions weren't great. But I'll give you my thoughts, Linda, before we just take the first call. I didn't enjoy Roof's performance last night. He's been really complimentary, Roof, but I thought he was poor last night.
Hold on a now, caller.
Okay.
Linda?
Yeah, I would agree with you. Probably before the game, Ox, I think a lot of us were expecting Itten to maybe get the nod because he's not coming back from an injury, and probably his performances recently when he's come on probably deserved a starting slot. But obviously the manager thought different and played Ruth. I thought right from the first 5 minutes he looked as if he was just off the pace, and that's understandable. And the challenge that he made, at the end of the day, he was just trying to get the ball. He was trying to sort of use his body to get in between, the ball and the player. But he was a bit frustrated with himself as well, and it's understandable,
His touch was poor, and
yeah.
I think Kevin Thompson said on the commentary he didn't look to be enjoying the number 9 role, and that was fair, but I think that was because he was getting frustrated. It's only my opinion. I don't think he looks 100% fit, and I'd rather we went the other way about with Itten and then Roof coming on and getting more minutes in his legs for the last half an hour.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I think probably in hindsight that would have been the better thing to do. Yeah,
I agree with that. It's a really good point.
Anyway, we've been joined by Davey. How are we doing, Davey?
Aye, Oxbear. All right.
Aye, all right, mate. How's things, mate? In your world, everybody safe?
All right. Aye, definitely.
Good. That's the main thing, mate. That's the main thing. What's on your mind,
Enjoy the
mate?
game, Davey. Did you enjoy the game, Davey?
Oh, last night, aye. Second half, brilliant. We're still the best team in Scotland, without a doubt. These teams don't play football. We do.
You're quite right.
It's a great point, by the way. That's a great point.
I haven't managed to go in for a wee while because I've been working night shifts, but I've been listening to shows and it's been brilliant.
Thanks very much, mate.
The other night, your wee tribute to Sir Tom. I loved that. I thought it was a great wee song for Sir Tom.
Aye, very sad story because of how poignant it is at this time. Obviously, the kind of good innings, but to achieve so much in your 100th year is remarkable and a true.
Brilliant. Could I give a wee mention to a good friend of mine that sadly passed away the other night? Jim Bailey from Kilwinning.
Okay.
He's a good friend of mine, a true loyal brother, and a great Rangers supporter. I'm really gutted about it, but I'm sad that he'll no see 55, you know what I mean? But he'll be up there anyway, celebrating, I'm quite sure.
Well said, David, well said, mate. It's an emotional time for everybody, not just the Rangers support, losing family but and friends. But well said, mate.
Thank you. What was I going to say? I can't believe we won the 4-0 up at half time. I can't believe it.
With some right good chances, Linda.
Yeah, we definitely did. You know, Bridge obviously touched on them. Not only did we have obviously the Kent shot, Davy, but you know, Roof had a great chance from Aribo, and then the best one was the free kick that came in from Tav, and Golson put it by when there was obviously about another two players waiting to tap it in. Unlike Big Connor, considering he scored quite a few goals this season, eh?
I know. But
see on that point, I think it somehow or other Connor thought with his feet he was trying to head the ball. He's got a 50 pence seed, didn't he? A 50 pence shaped seed. So he thinks what a shocking mistake. By the way, what a shocking mistake. He must be gutted. Terrible feet.
What a goal for Hadji last night, but what a
different
goal.
Class. Yeah, different class, most assuredly. And the way he cut back on the ball was just tremendous, you know. Because that big keeper's not a bad keeper, truth be told.
Rang fit as well, mate. Rang fit.
Yeah, right.
You know, rang fit, which was a big point. Who shone for you last night, Davy?
Hey, Davis.
You would say that anyway, Davy. You would say that anyway.
I just love him, to be honest with you. Jack had a great game and all. But I was disappointed in Kenty. Didn't seem to do much last night.
If I'm being really honest, Davy, this is only my opinion. People see the game different, and I'm not having a go at the boys who played up front. I thought that before the game started, there was a lot of mobility in our front three. They actually disappointed me last night. Hadji was the best out of the three of them. He got the goal. I didn't think he was magnificent last night. Magnificent goal, and that would get you man of the match. But I thought my front three just didn't twit, and I thought the tweak we made to our system with pushing a Aribo up to try and help us didn't work.
No. I thought Ayrton would have been on for the start.
I agree, mate. Linda?
Yeah, I would agree with that. We were saying that earlier. And I think we're all looking forward to actually seeing Ayrton getting a couple of starts, aren't we, Davey? You know, he's obviously doing well when he comes on, but it would be nice to see him, play from the start. And I think he could probably play the number 9 easily, although he has played coming in off the right as well. But yeah, maybe we'll see him on Sunday, but who knows? Maybe he'll get his chance.
Yeah,
David, does that not just shows how good Morelos is? Does that know that he's a stick out number 9?
Yes. I think when he's not there, we realise what we're missing.
He certainly creates a lot of space, doesn't he, for everybody else, taking the defenders away and things like that. Marvellous. What a wonderful player he is. What a wonderful player.
He can pass a ball.
Yeah. I think he's probably our best player overall, to be honest. Skill-wise, he's really good. Really good.
The thing about Ruth, I think he's got his sniff in around these kind of players, Linda. That's his game, innit?
Yeah, I think that's what they were saying on commentary. He likes to kind of play off the number 9, and he quite likes coming in from the right as well. I don't think he likes the physical challenge as such when he's against a couple of big central defenders. But I think you're right, Ox. I think it was mainly due to the fact that he wasn't entirely fit, match fit, because he is a good player.
All right, I think Fox wants to join us. I'm going to bring Fox in. Evening, Fox. Oh. Evening, Fox. Oh, nothing there. Hope he's all right, Bridgeman. Linda, hope he's all right.
I hope he is all right. Where's he going?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I'm sure I'll see in a minute. All right, Davey.
Shout me in. I was just away for an Eartha kit there.
What you like? Sorry, Davey. Sorry.
Hey,
Fox is
that's all right.
Hamilton. He's wanting a job with Hamilton. Oh dear,
Oh,
what a man.
Yes,
mate.
Could I just comment on a comment the other night regarding BBC, etc. and burying the hatchet?
Give us your views, mate.
There's only one person I'd bury the hatchet in, and that's Chris McLaughlin.
Well said, mate. Well said, mate. Well said, mate. That's simple, mate. Yeah.
We don't want to be hearing about violence in this show, please, because it just drives you crazy. And I think we could all think of something to do on that. When I say,
right, okay then. If people want to join us and give us a phone, what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online. You brought in a call with Fox Old School Player. If you phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back. Easy as that. Linda, I think we'll hear from Gary Mack now. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great, Ox.
And then we compare the view for Bridge and Gary Mack's view, and then hopefully we'll have some more callers in. That sounds all right, Davey?
Yes, definitely.
People won't believe what he's got to say. People won't believe it.
Let's hear from Gary Mack.
Well, delighted to say we can get some more reaction from the Rangers first team dressing room because we're now joined by Gary McAllister. Gary, it's great to have you on the show. Congratulations on the result. How did you see that one this evening?
Well, I thought the second half we got into a wee bit more rhythm. I thought St Johnstone did come and make it difficult. You could see why they've managed to get themselves into a cup final. They're very well organised, very well drilled. They set up how we thought they would set up, but we still found it difficult to play through them. But there was good parts of the game where I thought we showed control. I thought at times in the game Joe Aribo was excellent, but it took a wee bit of magic from Yanis Hadji just to make the difference. So that was big. It was a big 3 points again.
Yeah, 23 points is the lead once again. How do you feel the players benefited from the weekend off? Obviously, the Scottish Cup didn't happen, but was that a help to get them out on the training field and maybe a day or so rest?
Well, it's very rare, although recently we have had 5-6 days in between games, but we did work on specific things to try and play through this St Johnstone formation. But also there was time for a wee bit of rest as well. You know, we've got a big schedule ahead. European games starting to kick back in again. So we used it both ways. You know, it was good for the coach and the manager to get on the training field and work on a few things. But also with a couple of days off to get rested for the big schedule coming up again.
Gary, hi, it's Neil. Well done.
Hi, Neil.
We were just listening to Yanis Hadji's interview there, and I liked it. I thought it was really good because Emma and Nick and I were speaking about how sometimes the forward players, that they're judged on their end product, and sometimes the defensive side of the game doesn't come easily. But with his interview there, he's talking about doing the ugly side of the game. Your forward players are so disciplined to break and get back into a shape when they're out of possession. That must please the management staff as well.
No, absolutely, Neil. You know, as much as flair and technique and playing on the front foot and actually trying to make things look pretty and the nice combination stuff, that's all good and well. But there's two sides to the game, and if you look at all elite football, all top level football, nobody gets a free ride. So out of possession, you've got 10 outfield players that have got to do their duty. They've got a specific job in the team to try and keep the ball out of goal. And I think that's what we've shown right throughout this season. Our organisation, when we're out of possession, I think has been pretty good.
See, we're talking about when you're plugging in and plugging out regarding the substitutions or changes you make to the starting lineup. You must have a brilliant camaraderie that we don't see. We don't get the luxury to see. There must be a group of players there because you know yourself, you've been in winning teams where there's just something that really enjoy each other's company. That comes across to me with this group of players. It's not just about winning games of football. They look as if outside of that, they look as if they got on well.
Neil, you're fortunate enough to play in a winning side here, and you've won things. and it's never ever a 10 or 11 outfield players that go and win something. It's always a group of 18, 19. And I thought the most wonderful example of that being shown, I don't know if you were, party to it, but last week at Easter Road, Ryan Kent went and pressed 3 or 4 guys in the 92nd, 93rd minute.
Yeah,
and all our bench who were sat behind us in the stand in the red zone, to a man, they all stood up and clapped Ryan Kent.
That was out on the left side when he went.
That just shows you that there's 18, 19, 20 guys, pushing and pulling together, which is massive.
Do you think that, we don't have fans here? Do you think you can impact the players more now because you can hear instruction? Because you know what it's like playing in an environment like this when it's full. Sometimes those instructions you can't hear clearly. Do you feel what you get more of an impact just now?
I would say, listen, we miss our fans dearly, and the run we're on, I'm sure the Rangers fans, if they're inside this at Ibrox tonight, they'd be loving it. But there is advantages of the fact that there's nobody there because, as you say, it's in key moments of the game, there's crucial information does go on, and I think just watching us in the last 5-6 games, we finished the game very strong. I feel, and I think that comes for the energy for the side, from subs, coaches, manager, just trying to push the guys through to keep the 3 points.
Gary, pleasure to have you on the show. Congratulations on the win, and we look forward to the match at the weekend. Thanks again.
Cheers, guys. Thank you,
Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Well, there you go. Very positive. Football's changed a bit, Bridge. It's more a squad game and a team game now.
Oh yes, most assuredly. You can see the way we play. We follow the Rangers as fanatically as we ever did. But the truth is, we're watching this in a lot of cases. We're watching far better footballers from a technique perspective. But we're not watching as a team perspective. We're not watching the greatest, but it's good. In modern day football, there's not very many teams that can beat us, I'll tell you. We're really good.
Wonder, he's making the point, Gary Mack, about the squad,
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about, group of 18, 19 players, and they have used their squad really well, Ox, haven't they? I know sometimes when games have been tight, they maybe haven't been able to get as many players onto the part as they would have liked. But at the end of the day, it's difficult to change when a game is so tight. But you can just see the camaraderie, even when the goals are being scored. Everybody's celebrating. And interesting what he was saying about the defensive duties of the forward line, in and out of possession. And one of the reasons why I think they do trust Ryan Kent is the important role that he plays. Sometimes we want him to do more kind of offensively, but they do play a really important role, in terms of our defensive shape, I think.
Okay, we've been joined by Gary. Corby, how we doing, Gary?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. All right, everybody's safe in your world?
Aye, not bad, mate. Well, we're still on lockdown, aren't we? So, apparently my wee hometown's got the highest rate of COVID in the world, if you believe the headlines, but there you go.
Okay.
I didn't phone in last night. I had a few too many beers, so I went straight to bed. Like a good boy.
Well, sent a note for your mother.
But I was really happy with the game. I thought we dominated it, and I'm going to give man in the match to somebody that people usually overlook, and it's probably a little, but if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have won the game. It's simple as that, and it's the goalie, McGregor. That save in the 72nd minute kept us in the game. Because if he scores that, they would have they sat back anyway, but we weren't on fire in that final third. We just couldn't score. But McGregor, for me, showed last night what it takes to be a Rangers keeper. And that's pure concentration and being able to make that one save when it's needed. One big save. All the good Rangers goalkeepers, all the great Rangers goalkeepers have had that ability. And when called upon last night, he was there. So I think Rangers owed the win to him, to be honest with you. I thought Hadji played well. I thought there was a few players that played well and could have got man in the match, but I think you always overlook the keeper because it's always the forward players who get the plaudits. But no, I think if you look deeper...
Good point, mate. Good point. I also thought actually Haaland had a good game last night.
Aye. No, I've been singing the praises of the defence all season, but the defence of the group, I was listening to... sort of scoreboard earlier,
There's a couple of guys rang up. One guy rang up and he kind of went through Kent a wee bit and gave him a bit of a hard time. And I thought, that way it riles you up. And I thought, I'm going to ring in and defend them because, like Gary Mack just said there, see your best. Why have Rangers conceded so few goals this season? Why is it Rangers have kept so many clean sheets? Why is it Rangers defensively are so strong? Why are we playing so well? It's because of the work off the ball that the players are putting in. It's not about what you do with the ball at your feet. You've only got the ball on your feet for a couple of minutes. As a group, you have to concentrate and you have to work hard and you have to... If you're playing... Say for instance, you're up against Kent, you're playing right back for St Johnstone last night, or you're playing in our team, right? See if you're playing against a player who isn't going to put that effort in and track you and chase you and hustle you and press you. You kind of... You think to yourself, I've got a night after night. But see when your back's turned or you're playing against a player like Kent who just does, he's like a rash. He just doesn't leave guys alone. If you're behind him, he's chasing guys all the time. See when you're playing against somebody like that, you're constantly on guard, you're passing that ball quicker. And it's kind of, when you're playing against teams like St Johnstone and that, where the passing game isn't up to is the standard of what the top teams are. You're forcing errors, you're forcing them bad decisions, and I think that's what Kent brings.
Good point. I mean, I didn't think Kent was great in possession last night, but you can't deny he puts in a shift, Linda, but ball players will always be judged on what they do with the ball as supporters, but the coaches will look at things slightly different.
Yeah, that's what we're saying there just before Gary come on, the work that they do in and out of possession. But I think we just want Kent to really do, his work further up the park, score goals, assists, and he's been doing that this season as well. But you're right, Gary, because Gary Mack was just very much emphasising the fact that, he made that challenge, in the Hibs match and in the 92nd minute, and the whole of the Rangers bench stood up and applauded Kent. So you've got to take that sort of thing into consideration as well, and it is very, very much a sort of squad game.
Yeah. I think your point about McGregor is very valid, mate, because I think it would be fair to say now that some people will be arguing whether he's Rangers' greatest ever goalie because of the longevity between his league titles. When you've got 2009 and then you're going to have 2021, it's...
well, I mean, I'm 39. I grew up... The 9 in a row era was my teenage years, and I don't think I'll ever be able to pick anybody else than my hero, and that was Andy Gorham. I just think the guy was... I don't think I want to put people... If I'm going to do it, I'd put them on a par, as in, you can't separate them, because I wouldn't want to put anybody above Andy Gorham. But, is McGregor that good? Yeah. But he's no better than. And I think if you're asking McGregor, who was only a 15, 16-year-old boy when during the 9 in a row era, he's the same age as me. He's 6 months younger than me. And, you put him on, you turn into Alan McGregor and say, look, I think you're as good as Andy Gorham. I think he'll be very happy with that. Do you know what I mean?
I think he'll get the accolades. You'll be surprised, mate, how people will look at him when he finishes, mate.
I know. I think that's when you judge players, mate.
With the story. But we've got to hand it to him. I thought he'd have fight in his hands, Linda, Alan McGregor. And I'll come to you, Linda, then I'll go to Davy. I thought he'd have fight in his hands with the way McLaughlin started the season. And John McLaughlin's never let us down. But McGregor just kept plodding away, number one, and kept it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, Ox. McLaughlin did a fantastic job, all these clean sheets that he had. But I think as Alan just got his place back and started to play game after game, we all thought he's going to be the established number one now. And you don't really see that changing going forward. But talking about the comparison with Andy Gorham, we did the wee bit a few weeks ago. I'll let you get Amanda.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello. Hello, Amanda.
This is becoming a habit, isn't it? This is becoming a habit. How are we all? I thought last night we played quite well. Second half we picked our game up, but first half they were just blocking the box. Dane McMother parked the bus in the box. Do you know what I mean? Trying to stop us getting in and goal. But I thought we picked up second half, and I think Gary McAllister's right. We play as a whole unit now. It's not just one or two players that shine for us now. It's the whole team.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Sorry, mate. You're right. Oh, you're a mate.
Thank you.
Has he been on the juice already? And I don't mean the raspberry juice.
You might find this hard to believe. I'm a total teetotaler.
So am I. No, but I think the team's picked up a lot in the last few. I mean, this season's been outstanding, particularly. But I mean, I've been going since I was about 5, 10. I mean, I'm 50 now, so I'm not a young thing now, but I just love that club so much. I really do. I just love it so much, and it's been a play. It's actually great being a Rangers supporter this year, isn't it? Really.
It's always good. Always good being a Rangers supporter.
Being a Rangers supporter, but it's even better this season. Do you know what I mean? And how are you, Linda? All right?
I'm very well, Amanda. How are you?
Okay, all right. Just
Good,
this blinking weather.
You sound
I'm
happy.
skating. I'm skating up the street instead of Thingwood with my crutches because it's starting snowing in East Kilbride. It's starting to melt a bit now, but it's to come back later on, they say. So, anyway, I'm up in my room with my flask of coffee and my crutches by my side.
Are you sure it's only coffee, Amanda?
Oh, it's definitely coffee. It's definitely no anything else stronger than that, I can assure you. I'm dippy enough with drinking all that. So, what did you make of the game last night then?
Linda, on you go.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good result, Amanda. I don't think we were at our, as George Fieke would say, swashbuckling best, but it's all about just getting the wins now, isn't it? And getting the 3 points on the board.
Counting the games down and getting the wins, innit? You know what I mean?
And just chalking off the wins as we go along, and hopefully, we'll get this sort of a league wrapped up as soon as possible, and we'll all be
the sooner we get it wrapped up, the better for us, because, I mean, teams are just packing the box now, aren't they? You seen it last night with them, and you seen it with Motherwell the other weekend, didn't you? They were just packing the box and hoping they were, going to park the bus and get away with it, you know what I mean? But, anyway, listen, I'll let you go and let more callers come on, but nice speaking to you all again. Okay.
Good night.
Have a good night, folks. Night.
Bye, Amanda.
Night. Bye.
I tell you what, see when she gets through her shyness, she'll be a right good caller. What do you think, Bridge?
Yeah, of course, and I agree 100% with you. She's still a bit shy right now. But
aye, once she gets through that, she'll be great. What a character. Where were we? I think you had the floor there, Linda, didn't you? You were on, and then we were going to go to Davy.
Right. I can't even remember the question, the Hawks.
She comes in like a tornado, does her, Amanda. I think we're talking about Alan McGregor.
Yeah. I was just going to finish by saying that, we were doing the goalie comparisons a few weeks ago, and I think we were all split between Andy Gorham and Alan McGregor. I certainly had Gorham 1 and Alan McGregor 2, but I think I'm with Gary on this. I think I just can't split the two of them. I think they're just equally as good.
Davey, you're sitting there patiently, mate. McGregor.
I think it's just great that we get 2 brilliant goalkeepers. McGregor for me is number 1 now, but McLaughlin could step in at any time and still do the business. But between McGregor and Gorham, well, it's getting to a stage where it's hard to pick now between the two of them.
Yeah. I get it. Obviously, Andy's clear was littered with success, and it was a run we were on. But the Alan McGregor story is going to be a good story to tell. Gary?
Aye, I mean, let's try and address the elephant in the room as well. There was certain players at the club where in 2012 who, for their own reasons, and I never held it against them because they had they're professionals and they had to play at a certain level to maintain their international status and stuff, and they had to move on. Some players done it in the right way, and some didn't. And McGregor was certainly one of the ones, I think, that done it in the right way. And I've never held it against him. And you know, he came back to the club, and since last night, I heard there's a guy on Facebook who said, you know, he's 39, he'll be 40 next year. Do you think he deserves a new contract? And what I said was, forget about the numbers, forget about a label, an age. Just look at what the guy does on the pitch. You know what I mean? He's more than capable of still producing it. If you look at other goalkeepers of a similar age around the world, Gianluigi Buffon, you know, still playing at the very, very highest levels and still producing it. So I don't think age is a factor. I think when he's finished playing, he'll forever be a great. He's definitely a Hall of Famer in the future. But I just come back to the Gorham thing. I'd just feel guilty if I was to put anybody above Gorham, because of the, you know, Gorham in them days. Let's be no bones about it. Celtic were a much better team then than what they are now. And they gave us, last season when they only lost one game and we still won the league, that was because of Gorham. Andy Gorham had a massive part to play in us getting to 9 in a row. And, you know, he gave us the best part of 10 points a season back then with how good he was. So
back, when you think back, when he's finished, if he ends up with 5 league winners' medals, if we win the league this year and next year, whenever he decides to hang up his gloves at him, it'll be interesting to see how people reflect on him because of the longevity of his winning career, Linda.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about all the other clubs that he played for as well. Once he left Rangers Ox, he was held in very high regard and played in the Premiership as well. But if you think about even this season, you know, the points that he saved us and what a performance in the Old Firm game, you know, on the 2nd of January. And when we look back on that this season, that was a pivotal moment, because it just absolutely knocked the stuffing out of them as well, I think.
Bridgman?
Yeah, for me, as you probably all know, I voted for McGregor to be the best keeper that I've ever had. And that's a lot of years. I've seen a lot of goalkeepers, and some of them were absolutely outstanding. Most of them were absolutely outstanding, truth be told. But you know, you see what as Gary said there, you see what McGregor does, and it's really and truly is just fabulous, absolutely fabulous goalkeeper for us. And I'm no one to say he's the only keeper we'll ever have. It'll do is, I'm sure the boy McLaughlin could give you another couple of years, you know. Or maybe some youngster we bring in, I don't know, Robbie McCrory or something. But the truth is, McGregor's been fabulous for Rangers. Ever since he put a jersey on, he's been fabulous. It's just a pity about the sort of bad time, the bad stretch, you know, where he actually got down in England and got some great experience, and he's brought that back to Rangers. And I'm over the moon with him. We wouldn't be. I don't think we'd be sitting top of the league with so little goal scoring.
Ox.
Yes, mate.
So I was listening to a podcast a while back, and they were talking about McGregor. I think one of his key attributes is how well he manages the defence and his time management in the end of the games, and his the gamesmanship that he does, you know, wasting a bit of time in that. I think.
Gary, see when he gets the ball and he falls in tap yet.
I love it.
2 minutes to go.
I love it, mate. I'll tell you a funny story I heard on this podcast, right? I don't know if anybody's heard it, and I'm going to try and share it as well as what I can, because it is funny. He was playing in a game, I can't remember what the game was, but they'll talk about, I think it was Kilmarnock or something like that. And there was 5 minutes to go, and McGregor's put the ball down to take a free kick, but he put 20 yards away from where it's supposed to be. And the ref's running back to the halfway line, and the ref's saying, it's not supposed to be there. And McGregor was shouting, what? And he says, it's not supposed to be there. And then McGregor leaves the ball, walks to the edge of the box and shouts to the ref, I can't hear you, what did you say? And the ref says, hurry up, you take the ball back 5 yards. And McGregor went, I don't shout at me just because I can't hear you. And even the ref laughed, apparently. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Just messing about, wasting time, gamesmanship, all within the spirit of the game. It winds us up when other teams do it, but you've got to admire it when it's done properly. And I told my lad about that falling on the ball, and I love it. Honestly, it's because you can't have a go at that. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant.
It's been fabulous. Great point about that. It's a great point you raised, and he was pivotal to the 3 points last night. But I thought the best player on the pitch, personally, was Joe Aribo, Linda.
Yeah, he had some brilliant touches, didn't he, Ox? And great movement as well. And anything kind of positive going forward kind of came through Joe, particularly in the first half. Made a couple of really nice runs as well. I think he was the one that crossed the ball in for Roof. Roof he put the ball past the left-hand post. I think I remember thinking about that. And he also had he knocked the ball down for the Kent chance as well. You know, he headed the ball down. But generally, he was very positive. Sometimes I wish he would just shoot a bit more. But I mean, that's easier to say from your, watching it at home. But yeah, he was really, really good last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here I think we've been joined by young Darren. Evening, Darren.
Good evening, panel. How we doing? Good evening, Linda. Good evening, the best one out the mall, Bridgeman. How you doing?
Evening, Darren.
Nobody likes that creep.
Good evening. Well, Bridgeman, I'm going to start off with when last night, when obviously the build up to the game you were on, and then came on last night you weren't on. I wasn't too chuffed with that, mate, but not hearing the number one fan. But hey ho, we'll let it slip, will we?
No, get a room. Get a room.
Number one fan. I love it. Well done. Did you enjoy the game, pal?
Yeah, well, another one ticked off, but again, as I said by Hawksjare, I didn't like the way we shaped up. I didn't like some of the changes he done, and I didn't like obviously who was on for the start. But I'm sure that who we to decide. But it was just out of shape for me last night. Obviously, Hadji getting the goal, but there was a lot of people out of position, in my opinion.
Well, you're nobody alone. You're not alone. There's lots of folk are saying the same thing, pal. You can only stick with what you think yourself. Personally, I have no complaints about the way we played, other than I would have loved it if it had been Morelos playing up front. You know what I mean? And if it hadn't been Morelos, I would personally have thought Itten would have played better up there. And unfortunately, it wasn't to be. So I thought Roof did what he could. We remember who we're playing. You're playing against 2 banks of 10 inside our 18-yard box. That's what you're playing against at the end of the day. It's murder Polis. He's got a great goal. Scored a great goal. They must have been sick.
Again, we could have been should have been 3-4-0 up at half time. So
Darren, you're right, mate. They were good. They were real good chances, mate.
Really good. And we just
but funny enough, I don't think we hit the target with any of them.
Nope.
No.
They got more shots on target than us. That's the crazy thing.
Good evening, Gary. I didn't know you were on.
No, it's all right, mate. I'm here.
Kent shot up. He slipped a bit, but I think he went for power instead of hitting the target. And another night, Roof scores with his one he tried to the foot of the bar. Olsen's one, I don't know what he done with his foot. And obviously, Tav, when the cross came in, I think it was for Hadji. And Tav in another night would have got his head to that just to guide it into the goal. So that was 4 chances in the first half, Darren, yeah?
Yeah, I definitely thought that, in my opinion as well, that Roof wasn't obviously he's match fit because he was chosen, but I don't think he would have. I thought Itten would have started obviously before him. But
I agree, mate. I actually agree, mate. I can't argue with it. But when Stevie G phoned me this morning, they said, "Listen, Ops, we got 3 points. What you moaning about? You know what I mean?"
Love it.
The hotline.
Love it. Just brilliant.
It's true,
The batter's good.
You've got to be honest about it, Gary. We're a tough crowd. We've lost 7 goals all season. We're sitting 23 points clear, and we're having a wee whinge. It's been a tough crowd.
listen, we're used to the best. We've obviously had to put up with some gum for the last 9 years. So we've been, I think, in order to progress and get better, you always have to be critical. There's nothing wrong with being critical to the point of not being happy. But I'll be honest with you, St Johnstone played quite well last night, and let's not forget they only conceded 1 goal themselves, and they almost scored. So they almost came away with a draw, which would have been an amazing result for them. I was actually watching the game through St Johnstone TV. I'll let you work out why that is on your by yourself, but because it was a better stream. But anyway, if they'd have come out with a draw, they'd have been jumping for joy. And in the last 10 minutes, we were up against it a wee bit and sat quite deep. So and St Johnstone came out. Well, I wasn't too comfortable with it, to be honest with you, because.
Gary, here's a question for you briefly before we go to the tune. I want to take this round the panel. We talk about Scottish football, the product and that. And I watched a wee thing the day when they got in that just that open goal. I turned on Andy Halliday was on it, and he was saying that in his opinion, it's only his opinion, the teams in Scotland, the top flight, have got better players and better football players at the moment they've had for a while. And I think to myself, no, that's not been bared out in what we're watching. They're playing me, they're parking the bus and they're trying to get a draw. Motherwell have done it, St Johnstone have done it a bit. I don't think they've been as bad as Motherwell. Where's it got them? They've got away with 8 points. I know, just come out and have a game of football. Yeah, where's it got them? They've went away, they've lost the game.
Aye, but listen, if you're asking me to look at it objectively, I would love teams to come and play against us, but looking at it objectively from a deeper point of view, if you look at the Motherwell game, we won it convincingly in the end, but they were 10 minutes away from getting
it doesn't matter.
The win.
It doesn't matter if you score 3 goals in the last 5 minutes. It's got them nothing. They went away with 8 points. They've done away with 8 points. Linda, what's that achieving for them?
Yeah, I know what you're saying about the product as well. It can't be very nice to watch, even from a neutral perspective. But I know what the point Gary's making, that every team's got to look after themselves. They're trying to get a point. But if you look at what St Johnstone did the last 15, 20 minutes of the game, you wonder why they didn't just play like that from the beginning. Yeah, they might have got picked off, but they might have scored a goal and been able to put some pressure on us. But yeah, it would be better to see teams at least maybe even just play with one striker up front so that they've got a bit of an out ball.
Yep, Darren.
I'm just trying to work this Skype, sorry. It's obviously
you want to go on the course with your mate, the Bridge?
Well, the Bridge can obviously train me up, because I'm so close to getting your post, but there's some training I need to do, But it's just getting the 3 points and getting the box tick. We can't go, every week as we would love to do and take 4 and 5 off teams. It's just not going to happen. So I think we grinded the result last night. 1-0, get the box ticked and move on as fast as we can on to the next game, which is obviously Hamilton away, which will be a tough game. So just tick each box as it comes now. 55 is getting closer.
Bridgeman, where does it get them?
It gets them absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And understand fully, these teams, they're not the biggest teams in the world, and it's a feather in their cap if they can take a point or maybe a win away from Ibrox. Obviously, that's a really good thing, but the truth of the matter is they get more and more, that game went on, and more they started to defend so deeply they didn't know what to do. And all of a sudden, they break up the park and look like a better team. But they got a couple of small shots in. Goalkeeper saved them well. Other than that, they did absolutely hee-haw, but sit in their own half. That's what they did. Absolutely nothing else. That's all they did.
Last comment before we go to the tune. Where's Davey?
I'm just so happy that I'm a Rangers supporter and don't support half of these teams. I couldn't sit in a stadium and support Motherwell, Hamilton, Livingston, whatever you... I'm a Rangers man, and I love watching the Rangers playing great football.
Well said. Anyway, get yourselves on mute. We're going to have a tune.
Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We support the Glasgow Rangers, do not Ibrox is the place. And we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes, that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Ago the story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all.
Well, you're back. You enjoying that, Bridge? That's for one of our favourite panel members in the northwest of the city. Him and his family love that tune. You back, Bridge?
I am indeed. Aye, it's true. The boys in blue are just magic on the ball. Absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
The voice of an angel, Linda, isn't he?
Absolutely. Voice of an angel.
We're bad people. Can I ask all of you a question?
All right, look, Bridge, I've looked at this panel. They're not very bright, you sure?
Well, okay, it's one question. I'm sure that if they remember, if they're good enough memories, there was one incident in the game yesterday I thought was quite disgusting, and that was when Aribo got clattered into and went down, and the person that clattered into him walked over the top of him and flicked him as the boy was getting up. Did a wee flick, kicking a bum, you know, and the referee never did anything about it. And when Aribo challenged them, our players had to pull him away and things like that. And that's just disgraceful. It's not right. It's not right at all. And I remember when the Rangers were playing Alloa. Can you remember when we played Alloa? And with that boy, was it Adula? Nathan Adula playing for us?
When they done the rainbow.
Absolutely, yes. And everybody said, that's disrespectful. Well, I don't want Rangers to stop being disrespectful if that's the kind of standard of opposition we're going to have. That guy should have been red carded easily. Should be yellow carded twice. There was two shocking incidents he did. It's a terrible tackle and should have been booked. I don't understand what the difference is between him and Roof. I just don't understand it, and somebody can maybe explain it. That tackle on Aribo, he halved him in two, put him down to the ground. And at least Rook was trying to, shall we say, barge his way through. Had to stop.
I think you've got, yeah. Listen, I've never seen a big thing in the Aribo challenge, mate. I thought it was just something that happened and he upset Joe with a wee flick or something. I don't think it was a big deal. There was a bad challenge for me. It was a boy McCart when he missed Davis, and I think it was a minimum of booking. And then obviously he get booked for pulling Davis's shirt later on. So that was time. I think we've got to watch that we don't dissect every foul and everything happens again, and we end up in a Celtic state of mind. Linda.
Yeah, the one on Aribo that Bridge is talking about, it was Aribo's reaction that first brought that to my attention, because I didn't really see anything, because obviously it's not like Sky, you don't see everything for every angle when they want to. But the one on Davis, was that when Davis was clearing the ball and he went in with a high boot, Ox?
That's the one, Linda. That's the one.
Yeah, because that one was definitely, it should have been a booking. And Stephen didn't make a big thing of it because that's not the sort of player he is. But that was definitely at least a yellow card. I would agree with that.
Gary?
It's hard. I think something that's been lost on us through the years is we tend to forget that football is a contact sport. Things will happen on the pitch, and you get. I think there's a clear difference between a player trying to do another player and a player that's mistimed a challenge. And sometimes a mistimed challenge can be a red card, because whether you mean it or not, you've endangered another player. I think we got away with that in respects to the Roof challenge. I don't think Roof meant to do the guy, but the challenge in slow motion, he's been booked for it, it's been dealt with. And that can happen in games, and that goes for you sometimes, and sometimes it goes against you. What Bridge is getting at, and I agree with him, is the boy stepping over Aribo. He knew exactly what he was doing when he done it. Now, he's doing it for a reason. He's doing it to get a rise out of Aribo. He's doing it to try and get a rise at the Rangers players. And to be fair to Aribo, he had to be dragged away. I think it was Hadji that pushed him away and got him under control, because Aribo's only given the boy what he wants, which is a rise. And you've got to be bigger than that. There's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself and standing up for your teammates, but he's got to recognise that the guy's only doing it for one reason and one reason only, and that's to get the reaction. And he's getting what he wants. So he's got to be a bit smarter there, Aribo, and no rise to it. A bit like Davis did, just walk away. You know what I mean?
All right, we've been joined by Bob Chair. Evening, Bob Chair.
How you doing, Fox? All right?
I am no bad, mate. I'm no bad. Just good.
All right. Good evening, Linda. How you doing, love?
Hello. What's this patter here?
Oh, I know. Listen, you Bridge, man. Good evening to you,
Thanks, pal. Thank you.
You're my mate as well. You're the favourite tonight, buddy. I've just been listening to this show for the off. What a great discussion about everything. Brilliant. All I can say that what we've been talking about tonight, these teams are coming to Ibrox year in, year out. And all they're doing is a damage limitation exercise every time. As you say, there is real just setting themselves up, coming out. You're as real getting beat 3 or 4 as one. A defeat's a defeat for them. And last night I thought it was a bit of a slog actually, but we made it. And it just shows you can get sucked into a classic situation where you can totally dominate the game. Then they go once up the park, create a good chance, and they score with it. Fortunately, they never. Again, absolutely, like you're saying, right, well done, Alan McGregor, absolutely brilliant. But, yeah, we're a hard order, as Ox says. We're 23 points in front, we're sailing away with the league, and we're still being a wee bit critical. But there you go. That's where we are. So, that's my take on last night.
All right, Bob, but it's a big tick in Bridges' fridge, and we move on, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Aye, absolutely. We move on, yep. See that tackle you're talking about with the St Johnstone player, was that substitute that came on?
Yes.
It was one of the subs came on. It was a horrendous challenge. And how it was publicised today, I don't know. They were quick to publicise Kemar Roof, like you say. And I thought that Kemar Roof made an honest attempt for the ball, and he caught the boy. Was that Murray Davidson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, I thought he tried to, as Gary says, he tried to shape himself for he won the ball. I don't think he meant to hurt the boy. Roof's still that type of player anyway. But they none of them in the press today, Emmanuel and anyway, said anything about that horrendous challenge over Abel. If it a cautery will, you could have put out for the season, and that's no exaggeration. Because I said it, I stood up at the time, I said, "Oh, you so-and-so, that was not a nice tackle." So, I don't care. There's the differential last week with Alfie, and there's a differential this week with him. So, I don't know. It just tells you what the point of view with the Rangers are. What's your take on that, guys?
I think what we've got to do is, well, we can discuss it, but I think what we've got to not get caught up in the narrative of every single yellow.
Every tackle.
Yeah, I think we can't take the human element out of the game, because I'll ask Darren this. Darren, has VAR been a success in English football, in your opinion?
In my opinion, no, in my opinion.
Is anybody a fan of VAR?
Me.
Yeah. Can I speak?
Yeah.
I watched it. My lad's a referee, 16. He's been refereeing since he was 13, 14-year-old. He only referees kids football, right? Now, I think I've refereed a few games as well in kids football, and it's no as easy as people think. Do you know what I mean? Trying to expect, and I was sort of saying to my boy last night, I just said to him, I says, no, would you want to, but do you think you'd be capable of becoming a professional referee to the very highest level? And we watched something that's on UEFA.tv, and anybody can tune in and watch it. It's a 6-episode thing, and it's about refereeing at the highest level in the Champions League. And in that, they show you VAR and how it's used and how they communicate with the team to come to their decisions. And they showed you the Champions League 2 years ago when Man United got the last-minute penalty against PSG and stuff like that, right? And it really opened my eyes up to, because we just see the referee with his finger in his ear listening, and then he makes his decision. But what you don't see is the discussion that's going on between him and the VAR, and what the VAR want him to look at and think, and it's always clear as day. It's your decision, ref, but we think you need a wee bit of help because you might have missed this. So I think there'll always be mistakes. There'll always be things that VAR will miss. But what it does is it reduces down the mistakes even further, because the referees are really, really, really good at the high-end level. Yeah, maybe not in Scotland, but they make few mistakes. But this just reduces it down even more. Not totally, but reduces it down more. So, and it's very early days in the first couple of years of youths. I think it's got more decisions right than it has wrong. It needs improving, though.
All right, okay, all right. It's interesting. Linda, your take on it before we're joined by, I think Graham's joined us. Evening, Graham.
Hi, evening, guys. I'll let you crack on with your point before I come in, if that's all right.
We'll go to Linda, then we'll come back to you, Graham. All right, Linda, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's obviously pros and cons for the VAR, but like Gary said, if it stamps out or gets rid of the blatantly, wrong decisions, but I don't really like this where it's a millimetre offside and it's different parts of the body, etc. I think that's just taking it to the nth degree. But up here, it's whether it could actually be managed properly, Ox. That's my main concern.
All right, okay, well said, Linda. Evening, Graham. How are we doing, mate?
I'm doing no bad. I'm kind of a bit like everybody else. I did watch the game last night. There was, there was points in it, which it sat well with me, and there was points in it that didn't. But I think when it kind of comes to all these challenges coming in and stuff, I have to remember. See all the conditions last night. The conditions last night playing was absolutely rotten as well. So mistakes will always happen. These guys aren't going out to the park to hurt each other intentionally. And when you slow these things down, if you slow anything down, there always looks that kind of statement of intent, regardless about whether they've done it in the past or whether they've not done it in the past, So I think we can micro scrutinise every single action in a football field and stuff like that, because even the Joe Aribo thing, see, even beforehand, I don't know what the relationship or what had happened prior to that. Had been a couple of wee nips at each other and all the rest of it, and these things can just boil over and stuff like that. I'm not excusing anybody for their final action. I'm just saying, we have to kind of contextualise everything that's going on, if I can use that word. What do you think of that, guys?
I think it's a great word to use.
I don't know when it came to it. I must have been doing a crossword one day and it popped into my head.
I've got my first thought. See what that means.
It just means to put it in context. That's basically what it means.
Can I come in, Ox?
Yes, mate. On you go.
I was just going to say, I think VAR, along with the goal line technology, are great things and great assists, providing they're used properly. In Scotland, at the present moment, we don't have either. Nothing. So you've only got the SFA and their team of referees. That's all you've got in officials. And right now, we're far, far, far away from ever getting near to what they're doing in Europe and in England. We're not going to get there. The SFA wouldn't fund it. Maybe couldn't fund it, might be a better thing to say. But they're not going to do it. But what they will do is they'll put their three-man panel up. So basically we're getting VAR on the cheap, very much so cheap, but they're getting it. Probably nearly every decision could be tainted for all we know. We just don't know what they're saying, what they're doing, what they're looking at. Whereas with VAR, you can see it and they ask the referee, this is what we see, can you confirm it? Things like that. And that is far better. Now, okay, first couple of years it's going to take some time to iron out and there's going to be wee bugs here and bugs there, and maybe need an agreement on which parts of the body you measure up on from an offside perspective, all of these things. So people need to get used to it. But once it's in, it gives you a decision virtually instantly. So within a few minutes you've got a decision, and that's brilliant for me. Then you don't got any of this with your compliance officer hovering over everybody. No.
They've still got that bridge in England.
I know they've still got that, pal. I know they've still got it, but there's nothing like what they used to have. Nothing like it. Because there'll maybe
Can I come in on that?
On you go, mate.
So I think we don't. I think a great part of football, and it's been there for over 100 years, is just talking about the incidents. I think that's part of what makes the game. We don't want it too sterile, because then it takes away a wee bit of what makes it special. Does that make sense? We want clear decisions to be made right.
It's erroneous here. And also, the problem with VAR, the thing that was great about football was anybody, any level played the same game. When you've got VAR, the guys that's playing at the lower levels are playing a slightly different game to the guys at the top of the tree. Yeah. Anyway, we've been joined by a guy who's been watching football for a lot of that time. We've been joined by Alex from Wishaw. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Ox here. Bridgeman, Linda, and everybody else in the panel.
Hi, Alex.
Evening, Alex.
That was a good comment you say there, Ox here, because unfortunately I never got to see the game through Rangers TV last night.
Oh, you one of them?
I got the second half, streamed it through, believe it or not, St Johnstone Television. And my two other sons, they were on some stream through Facebook. So I was really disappointed with that.
I think it's been a busy day for the SLO and facing up to people who were disappointed. The bizarre thing is that I didn't have a problem. Bridgeman didn't have a problem. Linda didn't have a problem. Fox did. Yeah? You know?
Oh, well, me and my both sons, we were the same. One stays in Motherwell. He'd phoned through and all. We had no problems anyway, but managed to see the second half. The most important thing is the points. That's what it's about. Never mind the performance and that. As I say, it's going to get tighter and tighter. We get nearer the finishing line here. And that's probably how some of the games is going to be.
Listen, mate, we're really close now, yeah? Come on. I mean...
Oh, we're close. We're close, but you've just got that wee bit. Just keep it going, like, you know. I'm quite happy. The goal was well worth to win the game, like, you know, a bit of magic there for wee Hadji, so that's what it's about. I'm quite happy, but it's going to get tighter, as I say. Every game will be a wee bit tighter and that. Nerves maybe come in. But hopefully we get there sooner or later. I'd like to get it finished as quick as possible. Hopefully, that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Bridgeman?
You know, the guys are right, because everybody's got their own opinions on VAR and things like that. And as far as our games are concerned, the game last night, you know, I can't forget it, and I'll never forgive Rangers for doing it, as they went away to that club we beat last night, who were so disrespectful to our players, and we gave them £500,000 for number 29, the worst deal Rangers have ever had, ever. And it still haunts me to this day. I hope they never do it again, please. Because that team, although when they broke out, they looked quite good at times, you know, holding the ball and things like that, but they done absolutely nothing. All petered out. A couple of wee shots that the keeper managed to save, no problem. But we were miles and miles and miles way above we're a different stratosphere to them. And that's the truth of it. But they came to Ibrox and they did their 10-man thing, and all the press and all the pundits all think they played really well, and they were so close to getting a draw, or so close to maybe pinching something. This is the way they talk. I mean, it's utter crap. Sorry, guys, that's all I've got to say on that.
Right.
Yep.
You need to stop watching that BBC and stop reading their papers. It's not doing you any good.
Saying I was watching Rangers TV, right? Even our own pundits were saying that they were done well, that mob.
Can I come in there, Alex?
Yes, on you go, mate.
Aye, you know, you're absolutely right, Bridgeman. I mean, as I said originally there, these teams, they're all much of the muchness in this league, as we know, season after season, and it's not going to change. They're going to come to Ibrox, and I'll say it, they're going to go to Parkhead for that matter, and it's all about damage limitation for them. And if that's what we've got to watch season after season, well, I don't know where it goes. And then obviously, I hope Rangers win all the honours, right? But you're right in what you say, Ox. They came, the disrespectful level of them was no real. Look what Motherwell did there 4 or 5 weeks ago. And they turn around and say, they've not got the resources, the Rangers. That's fine, we know that. But at least the sport is football. Come out, open out, try and entertain people that are paying money, the season tickets and at the gate or whatever, and try and entertain. Try, at least. But they don't. It's a much of a muchness season after season. And where it goes, I don't know. And you're talking about VAR there. I'm afraid, I might cause a wee storm here, but I'm not a fan of VAR. I believe in letting the players play the game, the officials officiate the game, and what the final outcome is the final outcome. I don't believe in this VAR. So that's my take on it.
All right, okay. All right, I think we'll move on from VAR.
Aye.
Maybe we'll do it in virtual reality, Gary.
Now you're talking.
Graham.
Don't get me started on that, by the way.
No,
keep away from that.
That was a whole show on its own, wasn't it? Graham.
Yes.
We're getting close, mate. Do you want it to be quick, or do you want it to be a long, drawn-out process so you can enjoy it?
Do you know, this has been playing in my mind for a wee bit of time now and stuff like that. I want it to be safe. That's what I want it to be, regardless of whether it comes quick or whether it comes... Seen the transfer movement quite recently. Rangers moved on 2 players, George Edmondson and Jones, and everybody kind of knows the main reason why they went, because of the COVID breaches. And we've had a couple of things in the past where us as supporters have looked up at the clubs and they've ordered the breaches. See, when you look at Rangers and the amount of work that they're doing, I'm not just talking about playing staff, I'm talking about the catering staff, the groundsmen, everybody who works in Ibrox, whatever they're doing, whether they're doing admin stuff and all the rest of it, they're making sure that they're no bringing COVID into the element, which would affect their first team and our chance of moving forward and stuff like that. And I think, see, us as supporters, we've got to repay that. We've got to repay that to every single person, to the chairman, all the way right down to CVG. There's a lot. We've got to repay that by how we conduct ourselves when we win. So see, when like 55 comes to pass, we've got to celebrate with class. Do you know what I mean? We've got to celebrate, whether it be doorstep clapping their horns or just use guys, there must be somebody setting this up and not on YouTube with the kind of create platforms, for people to celebrate online, mix. And I don't know, I'm not that good with the kind of all the tech side of things, but I know that you guys probably, you know how you work these things and create platforms for people maybe to send videos in, what 55 means to them, all that sort of stuff. Rangers as a football team can't do that now, because everybody would be admitting that they're expecting they're going to do it. So we as fans need to start to build these platforms anew, and all these things, like Steely's podcasts, yourselves, the Blues Brothers, all these different podcasts that are on stuff like that can create platforms for people to celebrate. Because see something, it's in your heart. So see, as long as it's in your heart, you don't need to kind of rub it in. Celtic are doing dreadful this year, so we don't even need to rub it into them. That's kind of my feeling. As long as we do it safely. And like 5:55 would be a good time to do a clap if we're going to do a clap, because it's all 55. I don't know what you think about that, guys.
Can you stop mentioning Clark? Fox gets an itch every time you mention it.
But it's just got to be done safe. I mean, I just don't want the, I know that people will be over exuberant and stuff like that, and I've got a time in the world for the Bears, the Union Bears and stuff like that. I think they've brought back a great atmosphere into Ibrox and stuff like that. And, I did have a wee chuckle with the fireworks and stuff like that, but, it just doesn't, it doesn't bode that well in the club and stuff like that. We're representatives of the club as well,
Yeah, I get your comment, Graham. I get your comment.
We'll have to do it. We'll have to pay these guys who have been out in the park. You're peaceful warriors who are going to the park and everybody supports them and stuff like that. The sacrifices that everybody's doing at the club just now can only be repaid by us to make a sacrifice when we celebrate. We celebrate with just like, we're staying within the boundaries and stuff like that. No letting anybody get an opportunity to put up any crap up on social media. Oh, Rangers fans are doing this, they're doing that, and stuff like that. Because they'll just take it away for the beautiful thing that it is. Because I remember Alan McCoy a few years ago when he says, listen, people are having wee snipes and we might be doing for a wee bit of time, but we'll be back. Well, we're back now, lads. We're definitely back.
I'm just hoping, Graham, that if it is in 6 weeks' time, you just using that as a date, 6-7 weeks' time, that things have moved on rapidly.
Well, listen, it's not going to break the old 2 metre distance things. There's not going to be changes like that and stuff like that. So that's the thing. Listen, get in your back garden and set a fireworks. Like bang pots and all the rest for your doorstep or whatever kind of type thing. But see if everybody gets together and stuff like that. I don't know. I just don't think it's. I mean, I was looking at at Liverpool last year and I was like, and we're all desperate. We're all desperate to celebrate. And I'm not trying to bust the balloon just now and because see when you're going down your shopping and all the rest that you go to your shopping being a Rangers fan and being a proud Rangers fan and knowing that your team have just won the league, so you can have that smile. You can have that smugness, You know what I mean? But you can take that. You can take that anywhere and stuff like. You don't need to be beside an arc like 300 folk. You can be beside an arc 300 folk as you're doing your shopping. So. And
you come, Gary. You want to come in?
Aye, no, I was thinking exactly the same thing about the Liverpool last year when they won the league, and they went down to the Dockside, didn't they, and had a massive party. As Liverpool fans, which I don't think anybody can come out and condone, but I think it's a foregone conclusion. That is exactly what's going to happen. I don't think they can shy away from that. I think there's going to be thousands of fans that congregate in the town centre, as much as what we'll say it shouldn't happen. I just hope that the Glasgow authorities let it pass off without it being more than what it is. It'll be one night, it'll be a blow-off. It won't be right. I'm not saying it is, but I think it's an inevitability. And if the authorities handle it wrongly, it could be more than what it is, basically. Do you know what I mean? I think so it'll be important to see how they handle it.
Let's just watch this space. We've not got an issue at the moment, and let's just hope that going forward that things can move on at a pace.
Only walking around with a smug face. I've ordered my 5 Chris Boyd masks. I'm hoping they turn up soon.
I think Chris Boyd's made a hero now, Linda, and when they scored all 8 goals.
I think so, and I saw a lot of things on social media today where a lot of Celtic fans are trying to get him sacked from Sky because they're fed up with smugness.
They've done a petition. There's a petition with 7,000 signatures on it.
That's right, petition. Yeah, unbelievable, Gary.
That's laughable. It's laughable. Can I come in there, Roxy?
On you go, Darren. Aye.
Just going with Graham was saying, obviously get it done safely. Rather than obviously rushing it. I know some fans on social media are, wanting it done quite quick, but just every game it comes, tick each box as it comes. Whether it's a 1-0 result, whether it's a 5-0 result, just get it done safely. Is what I would recommend rather than getting it done quite quick and slitting up, basically.
I think there was a play on the word safety for Graham there. I think he's talking about not just us getting the title done, but also the support staying safe as far as the pandemic's concerned. Yeah, Graham?
Aye. But no, listen, Damien makes a good point and stuff like that. Like even like the timescales stuff, don't rush it and stuff like that. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just that, listen, we care for each other and we want to look after each other and stuff like that. And I know that one of the calls was just saying that we can't. I hope the authorities and the virus will no take a night off and stuff like that. It's just my concern is for we've got a lot of aged Rangers fans and all the rest of it, and these folk have been way we've seen games through the 50s and the 60s and all the way right through it and stuff like that. My first game was during the 70s. So it's just really just about protecting each other and stuff like that. So that's the most important thing. And I think if we're going to start the message with this and get people thinking about it, we have to start talking about it now. Because we can't just put on the things and say, well, we accept everybody's going to run up to George Square or whatever kind of type thing. Because you've got to look after each other. People, I've loved Rangers for years and stuff, but I love the fans as well, and it just, we've got to just look after each other. Started saying about like Darrell Lamb here. I should really bug it off.
We'll move on. We'll change the subject. Because emotions are going to be running high, and I think the emotions will be running high, Alex, for a lot of reasons. Because people that's no ways. Where we've been, the journey, and we have mentioned it before, it could be the greatest championship victory ever.
I agree with that, Oxford. I think it is, compared when we just came for and all that. This has got to be, emotions has got to be sky high. I agree with the caller there, health and safety is paramount with everybody in that, but you don't know what your emotions is going to be here. There's boys who now talk about there hopefully wanting to Parkhead and putting for a paid holiday so they can take the Monday off. Now that's the kind of talk that we've got. Personally, I would like the league I'd like it to win as quick as possible. We can concentrate in the Europa because I believe we can go far in it as well. That's how I look about it. I think we can get a right good one in that Europa.
That'll be interesting with the news that's broke with Liverpool not going to the Champions and being allowed into Germany. What's going to happen with European football?
Oh, I never heard that.
Can you repeat that, Paul? Oxford, can you repeat that, please?
I think Liverpool have been told that they're not allowed into Germany to be played by a Leverkusen. The same problem at Arsenal having with Porto.
Wow.
They're going to start looking for neutral ground. So I'll be interested to watch this space what's going to happen with European football.
Yeah, indeed. This pandemic's causing. Do
you remember last year there was it the Italian team? Italy shut down its borders, and then AC Milan, who was that? Somebody had to play a game in neutral ground, and that's when European football started shutting down. So, the league was called on 30 games last year, and we're getting there. We're only 3 games away for that now, aren't we? 4 games.
So we'll be interested. I do think the whole pandemic thing, we're on the downward curve, and hopefully all our mature brethren getting the vaccine at the beginning of the end, Bridgeman.
Well, we're hoping, it seems to be racing, bringing everything down now. Other figures are starting to look downward, which is what the government are looking for. And obviously we don't want anything else to stop that. We just want that to happen and continue. And please continue until such times as I get my jag. I've got my vaccination the 10th of February, so I want to keep that going. I want everybody to get it.
What February is that, Mitch?
This year.
Oh, you sure?
If Nicola gets away, it may not happen. That's what I'm meaning. So we'll make it take a long trip down to Oxford.
The vaccine's just up the road for me, mate. I'll get you one.
I'll tell you what, they've done I have to take my hat off to them, and I hope everybody does as well. They've done a fantastic job with all these injections, these vaccinations. It's just fabulous. There's some places still a bit slower. Some of the poor old people in these some of these homes are still to get their vaccine. But I hope they're never forgotten. Get in there and get it fixed if they can. Do what you can. Get these people sorted. And that's what I want. I want everybody to get injected. I don't want any preferential stuff. Rangers are going to play in Holland, and if Holland turn around and say we're closing our borders, there isn't much we can do other than go with the UEFA say.
It's Belgium, actually.
Sorry, Belgium, of course. We've been in it about a million times. Sorry.
Yeah, listen.
It doesn't really matter.
That's what happened to him at Arnold, mate. He got himself and Holland mixed up. That's how Bob, it was a bridge too far for him.
It was indeed.
A bridge too far. My take on it is I'm going up for my dug meat with my Rangers stock on. I've got a big smug grin on my face and my Rangers mask on, so they can say what they want to me. They'll all be getting a reply. But as you say, subject closed. Or no closed, but subject passed for the time being. And I get my vaccine on the day before I get my Valentine. 13th.
Oh yeah. Are you confident you're going to get it, Bob Jer? Are you confident it's going to happen?
Will you be allowed on any drugs over 2 days?
Oh, I know. I didn't care what hole was going to find in that. Hear my mind. Yeah. Mine have a map of the zone. No, like you said about the pandemic there, I hope against hope, for the sake of everything, and football, of course, that we are on a downward curve at long last. We've been through, as the government keeps telling us, the peak, and if the peak peaked, as it were, and it's on its way good, and surely they'll let the season ride out now. We didn't want to topple the season now like what happened last year.
No, things are moving. Things are moving, and the season will finish in the UK, but that's maybe a different argument for what's going to happen with Europe.
With Europe, aye. Yeah, I take your point. I didn't know that Liverpool weren't allowed to go to Germany. That'll probably be the start of it. I'm not going to Irish, I don't know. As long as the Rangers win 55, I'm happy. Everybody else, I'm happy. That's a big objective for us.
Here. Right, okay. Right, Graham. Greatest league win ever, in your opinion? What was Graham? Gary?
I think aye. I'll go as far to say aye. This one will be really, really sweet. I think coupled with the fact that the journey we've been on, where we've come from, the pains that we've had, the people who are no longer with us, number 55, a world record again, and the cherry on top, stopping the Mankey mob from reaching their holy grail, so they said. I think all of that combined, it makes it extra special. The best, it's going to be right up there, if not the best, yeah.
But did any see the comments for the former Celtic goalkeeper, Mr. Fallon? No?
No, go on. Tell us.
I've seen a comment from him on Facebook. He was on about how he loves his club, which is fine, and he stands up for his faith and all this kind of, and it tells me one thing: they are absolutely rigid at this, and I'm glad that they're absolutely rigid at it. We've got ourselves in this position, and I hope against hope that when the celebrations do start, that they all pass off totally peacefully. Just let us celebrate. We've been a long time in the doldrums. We're out the doldrums forevermore, in my opinion. I'm going to sign off, folks, and thanks again. And by the way, this show is incredible. It just seems to get better and better and better as it goes on. Well done.
No, you're a pattern merchant.
Just never mind the compliments. Just put the cheque in the post. That right, Brick?
Right.
Make it a big one, Bob. Yeah.
When I get that vaccination, the needle will break because I'm that tough.
Oh wow!
Gary, you're a great listen, mate. I love listening to you. Okay, take care, everybody.
Thanks for that, Bob. Bob, last before you go. Bob, before you go. Just make sure it's not the Pfizer vaccine you're getting, mate. All right.
Pfizer,
because they also make a drug that comes in a wee blue pill. All right, and if you're having both of them on the same day, you be careful, pal. Right.
I'll be careful, buddy. It's a Pfizer. The Pfizer vaccination I'm wanting, no the Pfizer vaccination.
I don't know. Take it easy.
I'll catch you all later, all right? Bye-bye now.
Cheers, Bob.
All the best.
See you later, mate.
Night, Bob.
Last year, Bob Jarrett took that wee blue pill stuff in his throat, ended up with a stiff neck. Right, where are we? Alex, you've said you think it'll be the greatest league title ever. You're also dealing with a lot of young boys with the football and that. They're a different generation. What's their views, mate?
Oh, they're hyper now, aren't they? These kids are now. But looking back, my age and probably Bridges' age and that, but we've seen championships away back for the 60s and that, and you go through them all, the 9 in a row, Stoke and Celtic, the 10 in a row, Easter Road. But there's a different feeling about this one. As I say, it's because we have came for with 9 years of hell, how we were treated and that, and it's at another level. And how would you call it? I'm quite emotional about myself, the 55. It's unbelievable. I never thought I'd see Rangers at the depths they put us into. And to come back in a short space of time, it's quite unbelievable that Stevie Gerrard's took this team within 3 years. And it will
You never thought we would be doing that, and I think everybody agrees with that. And that's a whole show on its own, Alex. But when we were on the journey and then we stumbled in the championship and made the Kenny McDowell era, then we had on Stuart Fields for his Emmett Warburton come in, who done okay, then it went pear-shaped, and then with the Murray and the Kachina times, and Jimmy Nick coming in and helping us out, and you thought, where's this gone? You couldn't have seen us winning the league so quickly then, could you?
Definitely no. That's the thing about it. We were just glad we got our club back. And Mar Warburton, when he took over, we kept singing it's going to be 55, David Weir's here for 50. But deep inside, we knew ourselves, we hadn't a team that was equivalent to play with Rangers Football Club. We just guys in there playing positions to try and get us back. We came up through the leagues. We've done all right. But to go to a different level, and for that man to come in, Stevie Gerrard, there 2.5 years, okay, get the backing of the board and that to get the players in. But this is the real Rangers we're seeing now. And we've scared that lot, our East End of Glasgow. They're absolutely petrified because they know exactly what they got a fright last year, and by luck, they came back from Dubai and all went pear-shaped. So they got the warning signs last year. They just underestimated us. They're all self-centred there, and we know they're all about that club. And this is how I believe this 55 will be the greatest achievement. Even the Cup Winners' Cup finals, been there, won it, runners-up. The runners-up in semi-finals of 4 different tournaments, the Fair Cities Cup. So it's some achievement. And I'm, for one, right behind at 55. And what we talk about emotions and that, I don't know what I'm going to be like, especially when we win the league. I do not know what I'm going to be like.
All right, well said.
I'm going to enjoy it.
I bet you were, mate. I bet you were. We've got Stuart's joined us. Evening, Stuart.
Evening, Ox. Even all the guys in the panel. Linda.
Evening.
Hi, Stuart.
Evening, Stuart.
Evening, Linda. Just to pick up on a point Linda made earlier, they actually got a thing sent through Facebook regarding which was bringing up about the Celtic fans bringing up trying to raise a petition to get Boyd off of Sky Sports.
Yeah.
As you know, I phoned in the other night and I said I didn't get round to saying I had a personal thing with that, and try and cut to the point, guys. But I actually watched that game down in Drongan along with two of Scott Boyd's best pals. And I don't need to remind you of the score, which was bad enough, but I remember looking at the boys' faces, describe that despicable act that they carried out with with the effigies hanging for their stone. As I say, I seen the torment in the boys' faces that day, and I just like to think that Big Boyd is thinking his brother every time there's that wee smile. That's his way. That's for my brother. Because I made a phone call as well just to clarify, and the Boyd family never received an apology for Celtic Boys Club or the SFA over the heat of that. And I don't like to change this subject, guys, but just when Linda brought that up.
You've lost me a wee bit. We'll be talking about when the effigies at Parkhead.
That's right. When they done it 5-1.
I never took them as an insult to the Boyd family. I think they were an insult to, if you like, the PUL community.
Nah, I think Ox. I think it was. I mean, it was only a week before it. You know, the boy took his life.
I think they were.
And it,
maybe I took it wrong at the time, mate. You know.
Well, I thought it was quite. I thought it was quite obvious what they were having a dig.
I'll be honest with you. I don't really know if this is the place to discuss Chris and personal business. You know.
No, that's how I thought. Yeah. I had to think about it, you know. But I did, as I say, I made a phone call just to check that if I brought it up as an issue, you know.
No. Listen, we wish for a minute, Gary. We wish everybody who dealt with anything like that all the best, mate. And,
well, as I say, just if they can't handle big boy day, that's
aye. Look, what happens? I'll turn it round on you, Stuart, and I'll ask you this, and then I'll go to Linda. What's happened is bullies are bullied. And when bullies get stood up against, what happens with bullies, and that's what's happened with that mob.
Aye,
Linda.
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. I've got to say to you, Stuart, I agree with Ox. I didn't sort of correlate those two events, but I obviously take what you're saying. If there was a correction, there might have been a bit of press around it at the time. But some of the slogans, some of the banners that they've had up over the last 9 or 10 years, I'd like to think that you wouldn't see a lot of that stuff at Ibrox. But as Ox said, bullies eventually things catch up with bullies, and bullies are put in their place, and hopefully that's what's going to happen. And I'm sorry if it's if it's affected you that, but as I say, the thing with Chris Boyd, I brought it up because he was having a wee bit of a laugh about it as well, because in terms of them trying to get him put off Sky, because he's having the best time just now, and I'm sure he's put up with quite a lot in the past, so he deserves his wee bit of fun, I think, doesn't he?
Of course he does, yeah. No, I thought, bring coincidence into it, but as Ox said, it's there's a time, probably another time.
What you've got to remember, mate, this is no private, this is a public forum, and I don't think it's right that we discuss the Boyd family issue. We've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Yeah, cheers.
How we doing, caller? Hello.
How you doing?
All right, mate, what's your name?
Brian,
we're getting a lot of noise for you. You either have to sit still, or I don't know if you're moving your phone.
Sorry, that'd be me moving my seat. Is that okay now?
That's a bit better. Go on then, Brian, the floor's all yours.
I'll be very quick then. I just want to really talk about actually hoping that we don't make the same mistakes that they made. So when we go way back to how we were treated by the rest of Scotland, to be completely fair, when we were put down, everyone says this is an end of an era for the other side, but this is actually the start of an era, going back to where we were. And we used to have 2 Champions League spots. We were nearly in 1993 in the European Cup final. We had 2 UEFA Cup, Euro Cup, whatever you want to call them, finals, Seville for them, and of course we played Zenit. Now, we've got the potential to go back there, and we're only going to get back there if we get there by us playing well, by our national team playing well, and unfortunately by them playing well. So now that we are back in our rightful position as leaders on the Scottish football, I think we need to set an example and actually try to move forward as a nation for the greater good of our club and for Scottish football. And I don't know how everybody's going to feel about that.
Well, my view is quite simply the reason we've got 2 Champions League positions, and I'll take this to Alex and then Gary, is because of the results that Rangers have achieved under Stevie G. Alex?
Definitely, that's it. That's what it's doing to Ox here. How good we've been in Europe under Stevie Gerrard. That's the reason we're getting the 2 places now. His record in Europe is unbelievable, and there's clubs there looking at our Europe managers, seeing this young guy that we've got, how good he is, and how he's transformed that Rangers football team. And when we win this championship, that's him again, back up again. So we've got to enjoy the guy as long as we've got him. I don't know how long it's going to be, whether it's a year, 2 years. He's got family down in Liverpool that we know. That might be the big drawback as well. But he's definitely put his soul right up there. And he's the reason the two places in Europe, Stevie Gerrard, Rangers Football Club.
Gary, let Gary come in, then we'll come back to you, mate. Then we'll come back to you, Brian. Gary.
Of course. Aye, I think that there's two things you can be. I think there's two things you can be consistent at. You can be consistently good or consistently bad. Rangers have been consistently good over the last 3 seasons since Gerrard came in Europe, which has pushed their coefficiency up. But there's other things as well, the players you have in your squad and that. What I will say is, see if you look in nature, Ox, see if you take a predator out of a situation, the prey thrive and they overgrow, and there's nothing to keep it in check. That's what has happened in Scottish football. Scottish football had the big boy taken out, the predator, the thing that kept Celtic in check. See, when we were removed, they ran riot, right? And now we've been reintroduced, and we're back to keep them in check. And what I wanted to say, Ox, was about the younger generation and how they view winning the league and how it's going to feel. And my lad wanted to speak about it, if you'll let him.
I'll tell you what. We will bring your lag on another night, mate. Yeah, because
all right, no worries.
Yeah, because I want to go back to Brian with his point. Brian, you want to come back in, then we got another caller is on the line, mate. Yep. I want to give your boy justice and give him the time. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, we'll give him the time. In fact, if he wants to make it for 8:15 tomorrow, we will do it then.
Aye, I think it's a good thing to cover, in it. The younger, he's 16, 17.
There's got to be some brains in Bruce,
Aye.
Cracking back in, Ox.
On you go, Brian.
Yeah, so I actually agree with everything you've said there. I mean, we dragged Celtic kicking and screaming back to their second Champions League spot. We did that. It was Rangers and Stevie Gerrard that did that. But we need to maintain that for the good of Scottish football. And as much as I have loved every single tier that's been built this year on the other side, and as much as I've been on Twitter taking so much joy out of it, we dragged them kicking and screaming back to European spots. We have got potentially direct qualification into the Champions League next year. Rangers did that. But we need to have that every single year. If we have a strong Scottish league, we are going to get direct Champions League. We're going to get 2 Champions League spots. And that is the most important thing for Rangers as a club going forward. I've enjoyed every single moment of what's happened this year. But us going forward, like I was saying, when we go back, in the 1990s, when you look at the teams we had, I know you're talking about Alan McGregor versus Andy Gorham. Alan McGregor is phenomenal. But you compare what Andy Gorham is doing. We were nearly, what we did in the Champions League, what was going on, it was just insane. We were at a level there. Rangers gubbing Leeds United home and away. Liverpool getting gubbed by Celtic. You know what I mean? It was insane. And we need to have this across of Scottish football to take Scottish football back to where Scottish football should be as well. Anyway, that's all I was wanting to say.
Well said, Brad. Well said, mate. Listen, did you pick me up there, Gary, before we can run 8:15 tomorrow for your young man, yeah?
Aye, 8:15 tomorrow. I'll get my lad ready to talk.
If it doesn't suit him, mate, let us know, yeah, and we can do it another time. But
yeah, I think maybe put it out to listeners as well. If they've got any young people in their lives, kids or grandkids who want to come on and give their views, you're the host, obviously, so I don't want to take that away for you. But it's a good point to raise, isn't it?
Thanks very much, Gary.
Thank you, boys, mate.
I've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
All right. What's your name, mate?
Davy.
All right. Oh, Davy, I've seen that. Sorry, Davy H. Carry on, Davy. Floor's all yours, mate.
No. I was only going to say, you're listening to this phone in on Clyde, and there was a bloke on the other night saying, the Rangers, where are they getting this money from? They've no money, they're spending way above their means and what have you. Did you not realise that
there was like £25 million in fucking season. None of them sold for.
Sorry, I lost Davey there. Yeah, but he's made a good point. We're no debt at the moment, self-sufficient. Right kit deal, Alex, season tickets, a real waiting list. We're not getting people clamouring to ask for refunds. The club, considering the pandemic, is in a good place. Alex, and then the last word of the night to Bridge.
You're absolutely right. They're just absolutely green with jealousy area. This is the problem with them. This is the first challenge we've had. And as Dave King says, a pack of cares, a full a pack of cares. We are back and they do not like it. That's the bottom line, Oxford.
Well said. Before we go to Bridge, I'll bring his boy in, Darren, for the last point. Go and hurry up, Darren, make it quick.
I just want to say thanks to Bridgeman, Linda, yourself, Gary, and the lobby guys. Thanks very much for taking my call. What a show. Great show. I phone in every night, so just to show your appreciation. Thanks very much, guys.
Well done, Garen. Well done.
Well said, Darren.
Cheers, Darren. Right, Bridgeman, it's over to you.
Oh, what can we say? What a marvellous night. Wonderful. Great callers. Great discussions. Absolutely loved it. I'm no 100% behind everything they've said, but I love it anyway. Just brilliant. I do. I absolutely love it. I think the way we can allow the conversation to take place.
The Hamilton story deserved more space, Bridge.
What's that one?
The Hamilton story.
The Hamilton story, yeah, absolutely. If only we could give it a big splash, but I'm not bother. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is big smiles on our faces, and that's for sure. Keep it going for the Rangers. The Rangers really need us, and they do. They really need us. Keep it going.
All right, mate. Thanks, Bridge. Thanks, Darren. Brian, Amanda, Bob J, Alex, Gary, Stuart, the two Davies that have phoned in. Fantastic evening. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for taking part. Thanks for joining the panel, Hodge and Linda. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. I forgot Graham as well. Great call for Graham. Thanks for listening. This is Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 discussing all things Rangers. Will we once again be joined by the one and only Stato Portbear.
Another great show, Alex, here.
Cheers, Alex. Take it away. Old School Blue.
As I was walking down the Coleman Road, I met a bunch of strangers. They said to me, are you going to see the famous Glasgow Rangers? So I took them up to Ibrox Park just to see the flags unfurl. After that display, they had to say, you're the best team in the world. So they sing songs about the land that they adore, and some of how modern won the country's greatest war.